Let's talk about crypto. What is cryptocurrency and how can we make an income from it? And not just an income, maybe you're just looking for a few extra bucks for play money on the weekend. Maybe you're looking for so much more than that, which some of these crypto projects and staking protocols can absolutely accomplish. So I'm not incredibly technical on the crypto side. I am technical as my profession. That is what I do. But on this side, in this realm, I'm a little newer to everything. So hopefully I can explain a lot of these concepts in a simpler way. That's not going to confuse the whole matter and throw you too much off track. From the very basics, I'll assume that you do know what cryptocurrency is. I mean, it's a digital currency. And most of the cryptocurrencies we're talking about are DeFi, decentralized finance. They're not beholden to a centralized regulating body. There's no banks. There's no one that's going to enforce something related to these coins. But the benefits, or the way that crypto actually works, is that everything is open, meaning that even though your wallet may be anonymized, your digital wallet is really just a string of numbers and characters that represents that wallet. But anyone who has that wallet address can check it on the chain. So on the blockchain of transactions, anyone can see what wallet transferred which token or coin into which other wallet or contract. And so it's all very open. You could really track the whole path of a certain amount of digital currency. And that's why there are these websites such as, we'll look at this BS Scan. So this is checking one of the blockchains, the smart chain. And you'll see all the latest transactions going on here. If we knew a specific contract, like a specific protocol that someone had set up with coins, you'll be able to see all of their transactions that live under that protocol. And we'll touch on those more in a little bit. It sounds more complicated than it is. Also, while we're here, before we dive too much further into, since we're talking about passive income, always good to remember that this is not financial advice. No one on YouTube is trying to tell you how you should spend your money. All I can do is explain what I do, why I'm interested in the things I am, and where I've been, putting my money, just to see if we can make some type of passive income, even from a small investment. That's my goal. That's my journey right now. You can check out some of my other videos and see I'm just throwing in, $100 here, $100 there, and we're kind of following that path together. You can follow along if you'd like, and we'll see how it grows, how it goes. Both, hopefully. So that's the basics of cryptocurrency. You have a wallet. You can put coins into that wallet that you do purchase with fiat. So fiat is your actual dollars that you think of, whether that's US dollars or Australian dollars, whatever your normal currency is. You use that to exchange or purchase crypto coins, and then you hold those in your wallet, and then you can do a lot of things with those, from just buying goods and services to actually staking them or investing them in these various platforms and protocols. Now, what do I mean by a protocol? The one that I have a lot of confidence in right now that I've really been diving into is the Drip community as a whole, the Drip ecosystem. So I'll put my referral link down there if you decide to get into all of this, but and I can always help you through that as far as actually getting invested or creating the wallet and getting funds here. But so what is a protocol, or what do I mean by that? So in this sphere, we have these protocols, which are essentially instructions that relate to how funds are distributed, how they're rewarded when certain conditions are met. And these are also part of a smart contract. And what's really cool about the contracts, we were just looking at that BSC scan, the Binance Smart Chain scan site. If you have the address to the smart contract that you're working with, you can actually go to that scan website, input it, and you'll be able to see all the transactions that are happening. And I'm just going to check the white paper here on Drip to see if they have that just easily accessible, and we'll glance at it real quick. So I was having a little trouble locating that in the white paper. The good thing about these contracts and coins is that, like we said, everything is open and visible. So I went and searched for Drip on the BSC scan website, and I did find the Drip token. And so we get a lot of information on this website. We can see our total supply. We can see how many people are actually holding Drip. That may not be individual humans, but just the wallet's addresses that are actually holding Drip. You can kind of see how active a token is, and you can get down to the actual token contract, smart contract, where a lot of these transactions are occurring. And so this is a real good visualization here of just how open all of the transactions are. Now, again, your wallet is completely anonymous. No one has to know that this address belongs to whoever it belongs to. And so that's one of the great benefits here. It's open, but it's not. So if we needed to track down some information, we could. Now back to one of these protocols. Now, again, all of these are risky. There's a risk to any of these investments. Why do we like certain investments over others? Well, we kind of have to do our own research. And pretty much any of this, you'll have to research a little bit. And if the project has a white paper, we'll start there, just because the white paper is where the developers for that protocol, for that smart contract, should have outlined all the information that's relevant, and try to sell you on the investment a little bit. That's what they're doing here. We can see the basic bullet points. There's a 1% daily return on investment for Drip, which is really cool. There's a whole team building referral system built in. I like to stress on Drip and the Drip ecosystem they're creating that referrals are not required to be successful. Either way, you're getting that 1% daily return. You just get other benefits like some commission upstream. You can airdrop, which is basically like little gifts of the Drip coin to your team. And now we kind of get into more of the nitty gritty. So we're talking about these protocols and these instructions that are inside the contract. Now, really one of the main things we're looking at is sustainability. So if we're interested in any of these and we want to invest, we want to look at sustainability. Is this project going to be around in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years? And I think to fully understand that, you'd have to delve quite a bit more into how these contracts work, and exactly, there's a lot more math involved. There's a lot of what they call game theory. There's a lot of psychology, really, thinking about how people buy and sell, and what's going to drive the price up, drive the price down. Now, one really interesting thing about these types of systems, they're kind of like a game. I like to think of them like a game. Some are actually built more like a game, like this Animal Farm that I've been playing around in. And so there's a strategy, and you do have to choose your own strategy. And in this case, for Drip, it's, do I compound my interest that I've earned in my available, or do I claim it for the day? And that's a lot of the strategy here. So I'm trying to think where we were as far as what we're talking about. So sustainability, when we're coming back to that, what makes a system last for a longer amount of time? Because if there's been a million of these that have risen and fallen, and individuals end up losing a lot of money. What causes those to fail? And it's usually a lack of planning for sustainability. And so Drip specifically, as an example, the developer, Forex Shark, as he goes by, that's his handle, he took a different protocol, a different contract, which was called Flow, and he built it. He basically took that code and rebuilt it for sustainability, having that in mind. It sounds like the other one didn't do all that well, although it may be still floating around somewhere. So some of the things they've built in on this one, for instance, is that here's some information about the faucet. So all transactions, excluding the buys from the platform swap page, have a 10% tax or a fee. So that's one way that they're adding some sustainability here, is that whenever there's a transaction, you're going to be taxed. You're going to have a fee that's going to go into a central vault that can then be paid out. There's a different tax that's lesser when you're compounding, when you're putting money back in to invest. And then he's also added, here's some information about the downlines, how you get bonuses from your referrals. So referrals kind of help everybody because, well, we all make money, extra commission and reduced tax fees, essentially, when we're all referring each other and staying in a community. We can all help each other, especially hopefully the little guys like myself and you if you're just getting started. I've only got one drip in here, just a little over one drip. So it takes a little while to build up if you're investing a small amount, but we're going to talk about how quickly those compound and roll upwards. What else has he added? He's added this whale tax. So if you're a whale, as they're calling it, if you own a large percentage of the pool in this specific contractor protocol, then you're going to have a larger tax amount when you're withdrawing, when you're claiming, or transacting in the ecosystem. So I think not only does this, I don't know that it necessarily discourages someone from holding a large amount. All it really does is discourage those who are holding a large amount from withdrawing as much all at once. And that's something to note as well. Most people are not going to just let their available sit here. If you have a large amount and it's climbing every day, let's say you're making $300 a day, you're not normally going to let that sit there because that available balance is doing nothing for you. You're either going to hydrate, which puts it back into your deposits, and then just compounds that. Now you're getting 1% of whatever that new amount is, or you're going to claim it. So that's another element of sustainability for this particular project. You can only withdraw that 1% that you have sitting there. Even if you left it 2 days, that's 2% of your balance. And if you're a whale, you're getting a 50% tax on that anyway when you take that out. So that helps a lot. Here's something about the reservoir where you can just add liquidity, and some people are doing that. And another thing about sustainability, there's a long roadmap, and Forex Shark has been delivering on that since this project has been created. So you're not always going to find amazing developers like that. A lot of projects you'll see, or that you see people shilling or pushing on YouTube, they're just not that great. They don't have this level of sustainability. Drip's already been around for almost a year, and he's launched other projects since then that are all part of the same ecosystem. And I've not seen that with any other devs since I've been around this realm of cryptocurrency and what they're doing. So that's really interesting. He's got a long roadmap and he is delivering. But let's kind of talk a little more about just cryptocurrency and what's going on here. So these deposits, when you deposit an amount, you'll hear the word staking quite a bit. So you're staking a certain amount of the crypto. So you'll buy usually their token. You'll buy whatever token they're trading in, whatever coin, and then you're staking it. You're putting it into the system, and you're essentially adding liquidity. You're adding capital and helping this whole protocol and contract work. So you're putting that in there, and that's really where these rewards come in. And places have done this for a long time. I mean, think about your bank. Your bank makes money off your money. So you put $1,000 into your bank, they're investing that. They're doing other things with it in the background, and then giving you a measly 1% a year, maybe. I mean, I've not seen much higher than that, depending on the banking or savings account. And if you have a savings account, you have all these extra restrictions as well. So here we're looking at something in the crypto space. This is giving 1% back of your deposit every single day. Now your deposit does get you could say burned, or it's not redeemable. You can't get this deposit back, but you make it back fairly quickly. Your ROI, your return on investment, or your return on investment, you're going to get 1% back every day. So in the drip faucet, this protocol, this crypto opportunity, in 100 days you will have your initial deposit back. Now, if you hydrate every day, if you put enough in so that you're not, if you're making at least, because there is a little bit of a transaction fee. So if you're making enough that it makes sense to hydrate every day, and that's not outrunning your transaction fees, then you can make your money back quicker than 100 days because you have that compound interest going for you. So this is an example of staking. You're putting your money in, and then that money is being used, and the transaction fees are being used to pay out other people to go into that vault to add that liquidity, that capital. And so that's where we're seeing a lot of sustainability. And if this coin price appreciates, that's another incentive to stay in. If you have faith in the contract and the protocol and you think it's going to go up, you think it's going to be more valuable over time, then there's that level of sustainability too. And you want to stay in protocols that have utility. So what I mean by that is that there are other uses, and this is what we're seeing with the whole ecosystem. Forex Sharks also created this Animal Farm website, and so Animal Farm also has different staking contracts here that you can hop into. So this is Drip paired to BUSD, Drip BUSD farm, and you're earning another token in the ecosystem, this pigs. We don't have to get too much into the Animal Farm. It's a little more complicated, but essentially you try to earn dogs and you try to earn pigs. And then pigs can go into the pig pen, and the pig pen earns BUSD, which is a token that is tied to the US dollar. So it's essentially one BUSD is worth $1. So then it all kind of comes full circle. You can then add that BUSD back here, stake it again to get BUSD/drip, and then you can put it back into the garden, or you can take the drip and put it into the faucet, and so you can kind of come full circle. So and there's a new kind of game, what we're calling a game, based on the pigs that's about to be released, and I think next week is when that's going to drop. So there is utility. There's all these fun games and things that keep the whole process going. And you can see he's really built this for sustainability, because just look at where they're at right now. There's this is how much has been rewarded. This is how much is in the vault. So still going strong. Very unique concept here where he's ratcheting the amount rewarded up or down for the stakes. And I know some of this gets a little more complicated, so that's why we're mostly using something like the faucet as an example. Another powerful example is if we're looking at, say, yield nodes is one I've been interested in, but not invested in yet myself. That's essentially all they're doing, and there's they actually have an auto compound system, which is really cool. So they're opening nodes that are useful on the blockchain system themselves, and they're doing. You'll have to look more into master noding and what all that is. I wouldn't be the person to explain it to you, but I have a lot of faith in this company, and the reason is they're almost 2 years running. Something else you can look for in developers, which these guys are, they're all what they call docs. They're all exposed on LinkedIn. We know who they are. They've done a lot of interviews. So is Forex Shark, by the way, and they've been running this for that amount of time, for almost 2 years, maybe over 2 years now. When did this start? 2020, May. So yeah, we're almost at 2 years, and you can see their level of return is 8-12% every month. Now that's not as much as some of, say, Drip, which is 1% a day, or the Garden, which is 3% a day. But those are a little higher risk, in my opinion. Now this is something stable. They're taking your investment, They're locking it in for 6 months, and then you can actually take it out after that if you wanted to. You don't have to keep participating. So your deposit is not just burned and irredeemable. You could actually have that back. But you stake for a certain amount of time, and during that time and into the future as far as you'd like, you get 8 to 10%. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's a little less, every single month. So that's pretty impressive to me, and this is another one I have some faith in, and I'll probably throw some money that way. Not telling you what to do with your money, but just an interesting other protocol we could look at. So if you do the math on these, this is how we could make passive income. It depends on how much you can throw in. Obviously, I'm starting with a smaller amount, so it may take me, say, twice as long to build up to the level that some of these people are at. But it's that power of the compounding interest is just so impressive, because every day on the faucet, for instance, you're getting that 1%. If you put it back into your deposit, now I'm getting 1% on whatever this deposit is. And you can imagine how quickly that grows. Same thing with the garden. The garden here is based on, it's kind of like a little game, but you do get money back once you get to a certain level and you can harvest. So you throw your money in here to buy plants, and then each plant makes a certain amount of seeds every day. And then once you have enough seeds, you can make a new plant, or you can harvest those seeds for this LP token, which you could then, of course, use for things and convert into actual funds if you wanted to. And so when you start off, you have a relatively low number of plants, most likely, unless you have more to throw in initial capital. And so you may only get a new plant once a day, or once every 2 days, something like that. But that steadily grows and grows until you're having plants made throughout the day, until you have 10 plants an hour, and just really compounds on without you having to add any more funds, except, of course, holding some BNB for the transaction fees. Almost every transaction on the blockchain, on the crypto space, any transaction you have, whether it's buying something or just replanting, harvesting, whatever the protocol calls it, rehydrating, you're going to have some gas fees, they call it, which are just the fees for doing the transaction. A lot of these sites use BNB. BNB's the transaction fee you'll end up paying, so you always want to keep a little of that in your wallet. But that is really a brief overview of a few of these protocols I find really impressive. Yield nodes, the Drip ecosystem, Rex is another one. 2.0 is a kind of, that one's more like I think a certificate of deposit, like a CD if you've had those with your bank before. So when Rex drops in a couple days, I think they're planning the 22nd to release. It could be delayed a few days. That's how some of these projects go, making sure all the bugs are worked out. But with that one, it's very similar. You'll stake a certain amount, and it'll be locked for a certain amount of time. And I believe that one you get more rewards the longer you leave it in. So that is kind of like a CD. But you can actually withdraw your rewards, your percentages along the way. And if I'm familiar with the CDs at banks, if I'm thinking correctly, that's not usually the case. Usually those are not really rewarded or able to be captured until the whole thing expires and the length of time is done. So again, this is the exact same concept as your bank. That's what your bank does. It takes all that money, it invests it, it places it in its own areas that can make money for their company, and then they dole you out this kind of paltry amount. So some of these protocols, they're obviously going to be risky. We're risking our funds. I mean, some of these fly-by-night ones that pop up, you got to really do your own research, because they can at any time dissolve the whole thing and run off with your coins. They can do that. So that's why we do a lot of research. Find a developer that's doing well, who's been running months and months and months, because at that point, when sustainability is their obvious goal, it's a lot less likely we're going to have the rug pulled out from under us in that case. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It obviously could at any time. And so that's why a lot of these, the strategy you'll hear recommended is, to put some money in, Let's get our return on our initial investment as soon as we can. And then after that, just let it roll. Just rehydrate when you can, keep compounding, and then claim when you need that money whenever it's strategically best for you. And in that way, especially some of these with the high return, you really get your initial investment back relatively quickly. It's not, a few of these like drip. I mean, what, it's 100 days, less than that, if you're compounding. And this garden, it's about 3% a day. So, you get that investment back relatively quickly. So if you're not in any of these, if you need help, just let me know in the comments. I don't have enough interest or followers yet to have any type of Telegram channel, but there's a number of Telegram channels that can help you out. So I'm glad to link some of those. Just let us know in the comments if you don't know how to get any of this set up. I'll throw referral links just because, like I said, it's great to build a team. I don't have anyone under me just yet, but we do get to see all the addresses underneath us, and once I have more to toss around, I could probably throw some airdrops every so many months or so. But I'm starting off really low, so I'm interested in any of you guys who are also the little guys. You're just throwing in like $100, a couple $100 when I get tax refunds back. If you don't need them for anything else, that's something that could be considered if it's a little free extra money. I'm really interested to see where this goes. Not just the drip community in general, but a lot of these new ones that are starting up. Which ones are going to be sustainable? Which ones are going to last? Drip alone's already made just millionaires. Has already made millionaires out of multiple people. And if you've looked through any of these videos yet, you'll see people with a lot more invested than I have, and just really compounding. Now, if they've been in the crypto space a while, that's probably why. If you catch a few of these early launches on a good protocol, like you catch one early on, it's about to launch, everyone's really excited for it, and it has a really good white paper, really good devs that you can trust, that you think you can trust. I mean, you don't really know anyone on the internet ever. Be very careful with your money. But only invest what you can afford to lose. That's what they always say. And if you check out some of these, they'll have the full calculator of how much you need probably to get up to 100 a day or whatever you're looking for. But there's a lot of people in this right now, a lot of people hyping it up, and I don't think that it's just something that's going to fall by the wayside immediately. But you don't know, you never know, and that's really a lot of the fun too. Is these are games, they're really neat, and I hope that something like this ends up having even more utility, that we can use it for actual real-world purposes rather than just within its own ecosystem. But that is how these make money. You stake, just quick refresh. You stake money in, you get rewards, whether they're doing master noding or just some type of contract like this with their own coins. And then if it's a good protocol, a good system, you'll continue to make money for a long while and get your interest back. So that's a lot of my beginner explanation. Hopefully that's helpful if you're kind of new to the space. Hopefully that kind of gives you a starting point. And if you decide to join and need any assistance, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.